I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everyone for the July 21st meeting. Minutes of the July 7th meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Givens, a second by Commissioner Masciano. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Are we doing a financial report, Steve?
Not the financial report for month of June. That will come out the 1st of August. What we
Okay.
have is the normal payment of the bills and the budget actual for June.
Okay, did you want us to make a motion to pay the bills?
Yes.
Can we have a motion to pay the disbursement of funds to pay the bills? We have a motion by Commissioner Piner, a second by Commissioner Brumel. Any discussion on the financial report?
And that's the stipulation of what month, Steve?
The question was, we're paying the bills for July, correct?
Some are payables in there also. This time of year, we're paying bills for both the previous year and the current year.
Okay, did you get that?
I got it.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I wanted to bring to the board's attention, if you looked at the total expenditures preliminarily through June 30th, there's a very good chance, I think it could be close to $1 million that we did not spend over last fiscal year. So fingers crossed it works out that way. We've got some obligations, but it looks like we were close to $1 million under budget. Okay, Chief Rogers, you were up.
Okay, so every year there's been a Bureau of Justice Assistance grant.
I can't hear her.
Okay,
She's muffled.
Chief will probably have to get you here. If you want to come up here and stand up, I'll turn this around. You can talk right into the mic.
Yeah, we can't hear her.
How's that?
Gotcha.
Every year there's a Justice Assistance grant through the federal government, and there's a local solicitation. There's an allocation to Elkton, and it has to be a partnership with Cecil County Sheriff's Department. This year, the allocation is just over $14,000, and our share of that will be about $7,000. And we are asking to use that for a ballistic shield. All the officers have a shield, but it's not ballistic, and there is no viewing in it. And this really came to light with us after the shooting at New Eastern Motel. When we did our debriefing, one of the K-9 officers that was first up, because we thought that was a barricade situation. In the debriefing, it came up that we really would like some kind of ballistic shield to offer a level of protection to handle some of these rounds if they were to start coming at them. And they also wanted a viewing area in it, so they weren't peeking their head out over their shield, which kind of makes sense to me because I don't want to put anybody in greater risk than they already are. So when this opportunity came up, I thought, well, how much can these shields be? Well, they're about $7,500 each. Yes, we're looking for one. We want one. And ironically, just when we this grant came out, and it's a very short window period that we have to do this. So we had told the Sheriff's Department this is what we were moving for, and there would be an MOU if this gets approved. But it has to be presented in a public meeting too. So, but ironically, the shooting that just occurred where the sheriff's deputy was shot, one of the things they were asking for, does anybody have a ballistic shield? And unfortunately, nobody did, and that was around and available. So there definitely is a need for this. So I hope that you guys approve that.
What do you need us to do?
I need a comment on this.
Go ahead, Lou.
Okay, my recommendation at this point in time is to buy a ballistic shield for each squad including the street unit, will use seized funds to do it. I think that's to protect our officers. We have adequate funds in the seized funds category that we can purchase these immediately. I didn't know you needed them. I didn't know you didn't have them. Otherwise, I would have moved quickly.
How's the board feel about it?
I'm all for it.
Do we have a motion to move forward with purchasing these shields?
So move.
We have a motion by Commissioner Givens and a second by Commissioner Piner. Any discussion on the shields? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll get those shields.
I did have one discussion, Lewis, evidently, you didn't speak with the chief. Lewis, are you the first time hearing this? Are you-
Yes,
Well,
I didn't know they were going for grant money. I would have had them purchase them and seize money whenever they needed them, because our officers' lives are at stake here. And they should have more than one shield. I put one for each squad, including the street crimes unit. So that way they have them available to them at all times.
Well, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have the money in our seized funds to purchase all of the shields that they need?
Yes,
And
yes,
allow
we
them
do.
to use the grant money for other purposes?
That's up to Carolyn, how she wants to use that.
I think at this point, we're kind of in a deadline. So I feel like if we can approve the purchase of one through this grant, I think that would be sufficient at this point.
Wonderful. And then we'll buy the other ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn.
I didn't mean to step on your parade there, but
Not at all.
Okay, the next item is an update regarding the partnership with Cecil County on fiscal year 2021 JAG. Who's doing that? Oh, that was it.
That was-
Oh, okay. It was 3 different items, but it was all the same item. Okay, Lou, you're up with your town administrator's report.
yeah, the next item, what I have is to present for adoption tonight is ordinance 4-2021. This ordinance amends the Elkton Police Pension Plan. And as I explained at the last meeting when it was introduced, it provides a couple things. One thing is the 3 years credit for retirement, pre-employment military service can apply to retirement after 20 years. So an officer spends 20 years. If they had up to 3 years of military service prior to their employment with the town, it's credited after they have 20 years. The other is it allows workers' compensation time up to 12 months to be purchased by officers who are hurt or injured on the job. And once they purchase that, they get credit for the retirement. So I would ask that the board authorize or adopt ordinance 4-2021 to include those provisions in the Elkton Police Pension Plan.
We have a motion to approve ordinance 4-2021, the police pension plan.
So moved.
We got a motion by Commissioner Maspiano, a second by Commissioner Rummel. Any discussion on this pension plan? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries.
This ordinance will be effective, I think, August 10th, because it's 20
Very good.
days after it'll be advertised, but then it'll be effective August 10th. That's the only item I had on my agenda tonight.
All right, thank you, Lou.
All righty.
Okay, I have a few things on my list here to report. One, I'd like to get, Michelle, if we could get on a workshop, I would like to invite our local nursing homes as well as our senior housing apartments. And I'd like to invite them, and we'd also like to invite the fire company as well as emergency management services, Wayne Tone, to be involved. And we want to just have a general and frank discussion in regards to transportation with those facilities. They may be working on it already, but I'd like to know every time they're calling us or calling the fire company for transportation, it takes away from others if it's for transportation needs. So if we could get that scheduled into a workshop. Also, I'd like to schedule a workshop with Stonewall Development which would be Ray Jackson. We could get him on a workshop, and there's two things that's outstanding that I'd like to for him to talk to us about. One is the hatchery ponds. They were talking about using our hatchery ponds for creation of some wetlands. I haven't seen any drawings yet. I understand that there is some drawings, but I'd like the board to see it, to see if it's something we want to move forward with. And then also I want them to be on the agenda about the waterfront property at the end of Frenchtown Road. I know there's been some discussion with their attorney, Dwight Tomey, about LDA, IDA. I don't know really, I really don't know the resource protection areas. I don't know the ins and outs, but someone needs to explain that to the board a little bit better, what they're requesting. But I'd like for us all to meet together and maybe we could come out with a plan. Moving forward, at some point, if you could put on the a tickler file for us, I'd like to make sure that we put together a fireworks committee for next year. We had a little bit of discussion about that. It doesn't have to be today or next week, but maybe come January or February, we can start to put that together and plan something out. One of the other things that we brought and we discussed at the workshop last week was the fire company made a presentation, and they discussed how their budget is growing and their revenues aren't growing as fast as the expenditures. And I think the fire company is important to all of us that's here, and we got to figure out how we can maybe help together to put a plan together. So I'd like for the board just to think about who we could put on a fire committee. I think certainly one or two members of this board needs to be on it, as well as probably a member or two of the fire company. And maybe we have one or two residents of the town that could participate also, so that we can work some ideas and see maybe what direction we need to go. I also mentioned to the board that we have 3 vacancies on the historic overlay committee. I haven't, quite frankly, I haven't looked for anyone yet at this point, but I just wanted to keep that in everyone's minds, real nice and fresh, that we need to find 3 people to appoint to that committee. And 2 other additional things. I know we got Dan Hanley is on the screen there. Dan, I wanted to compliment your team. You moved forward and you took care of starting to paint the word "stop" on the streets. I actually think it's helped. I don't know what the rest of the board has seen, but actually I think it's been somewhat positive, but I'd like to make sure that we can continue to paint in those areas and brighten it up so people can see that there's a stop sign ahead. Secondly, you sent out to the board a couple weeks ago a Town of Elkton 2021 collection schedule, and it came from Waste Management, and it actually had all the dates of service that included the holidays, and it would say when they would pick up and when they wouldn't. I actually thought it was a great chart. I know we posted it on the town page and I posted it on my personal page, but is there a way that we could get copies of this, Dan, from Waste Management, that we could maybe include somehow in the, I don't think we could put them into water bills, but we need to, it'd be nice to be able to at least get this to maybe some of the landlords or businesses on Main Street, get it in their hands so that they won't have any issues of knowing exactly when we pick up and when we don't. Is that possible?
Yeah, typically do copy the landlords. They actually do have it as part of a mass mailing we have on our end. And everything's, it's the same chart that we had since January. So it's the same thing. I just when things pop up, I try to keep resending it over and over again. But yeah, we can do paper copies. It's not a problem. Nothing ever changed since January this year.
Perfect.
We updated this year, we'll do the same idea. Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice, but it seems like every time we have a holiday, everyone gets confused on whether we're picking up or not. Maybe we can send this out twice a year somehow. And then two additional things. I think everyone here in the town of Elkton is aware that Roger McCardle, who was a friend of the town of Elkton, a lifetime resident of the town, passed away earlier this week. And Roger served on committees for the town of Elkton over the years. He was always one that he was actually a very close friend of mine. I know it's going to be the viewing is tomorrow at RT Ford Funeral Home, and I think that you're going to see probably one of the largest services that we've had in some time in the town of Elkton. One thing that I would like to request, if the board would be in favor of it, I would almost like to take our sign maybe in the downtown area and just put, you know, "We love you, Roger," on that sign. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to be coming through the town. And I think it would be a nice show of class if we could do something like that. Dan, you think you could pull that off?
Not a problem. Tell me what you exactly you want. We'll put it up there. I got
Perfect.
8 characters. I got 8 characters to work with from 3 lines, but the scrolls will keep going. So yes, I can make it happen.
Perfect. And
I'll have it done tonight.
we were also made aware today that Polly Weber, through some emails that I saw, Polly Weber had passed. I know that she was, I didn't know her very well, but I did see that she was incredibly knowledgeable when it came to the underground utilities for natural gas in the town of Elkton. Might be fitting to maybe when her service comes up too, if it means, it seems like there was a lot of love from the town board to her. And once again, I don't know, but I'm just seeing by the emails that we've received today and the posts on social media, it may be something that we might want to follow up, that thank you or in some ways to her also, some type of tribute. Maybe we can start making that a little bit more often.
No issues.
Very good. That's all I have today. Rob, you have anything to add?
Just a couple things that just came up during when you were talking. What time are Roger's services tomorrow?
Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
So everybody will know that, including me.
Okay, I have Thursday. Okay, the viewing will be Thursday night, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock at the RT Ford Funeral Home. The funeral will be Friday morning at 10 a.m. at the United Methodist Church.
Thank you. On the fireworks, I have heard several people, they come up to me and said that they thought it was a great job, a great show, and everybody enjoyed it. And as far as the stop signs downtown that Dan, that you painted in the street, you know, I stand out there quite often. I get a bird's eye view of it. And there was an additional stop sign placed on the other side of the street.
Yep.
Yeah, and it has definitely helped. With the exception of 1 or 2 that I see go through there, like they didn't even see a stop sign, it has definitely helped.
It's great.
So thank you for that. That's all for me.
Commissioner Piner.
Yes, at the community center, it seems like a lot of activities going on over there. It's really looking good to see people out and about. Wish they have had another way of getting some information out to the kids for the youth basketball program, but yet a lot of people didn't even know the center was even built. I don't know why, but there's been a lot of advertising about that. Last couple of weeks, it's been basketball camp over there. Good turnout. Been over there the last couple of weeks. We do have the clock up, so people can see the clock, the small clock, like that, so that they can at least see a time in the gym. That was about the day after we requested. So thank you. I know, Louis, you had a lot to do with that. So anyway, we're still seeking for, there's a few people, like 3, I'm gonna name 3 people. There's a possibility of maybe getting a score clock put in there and donated to the youth center. So just want to thank all the people that's helping out and trying to make this thing feasible for the community. Thanks.
Thank you, Earl. Commissioner Gibbons.
Thank you for the previous comment. I could add some, but you all have done a great job in doing that. I just want to reiterate or bring to everyone's attention again, there was a gruesome accident on Sunday about 1 o'clock at Stockton Street intersection, if you want to call it that. A young man about 9 years of age was hit by a vehicle. It was bad. It was bad, particularly when you see a kid, whether it's girl, boy, or even adult, have to go through a painful time as this young man did. Myself, I was coming to get gas and it just happened. So it was easy for me to make the circle around the Army to come, and there were a couple officers inside, so they were dispatched, even though the 911 call did go out and it brought ambulances and other additional officers there to the scene. Stockton Street, Lois, I know you put a handicap spot there, but I think you need to look at that. It's dangerous coming out of there. Because as there is a car that's parked there, you have to inch out into the road in order to see what's coming. That car blocks the vision. I mean, you can go up there and see what's what, whether that car needs to be put back. But not only that, and I've come out there numerous times, as you inch out the road looking left, you also have to be cognizant of cars coming off the bridge. You also have to look at cars coming out from the funeral home. It's a bad scene. Unfortunately, the young man was the victim of something that needs to be corrected. Sometimes it may take something like that in order to make things happier and dutiful for other people. But certainly there needs to be a change. There will be some people here tonight. I'm sorry, they are here tonight in the audience. They will speak to that point because I invited them to come here. They live there. They live it every day. I see it every day, but it's different when you live it and you also park there. So again, I'm bringing that to your attention, and there will be some more discussion when they get up.
Thank you. Commissioner Givens and I actually rode down Collins Street a couple days ago, and I think that should be a priority for us to make that road going in off of Collins Street right on into the community center.
Yeah.
Commissioner Jean, you're up.
And I agree with you too about the not being able to see coming out of there, because you see cars inching out all the time. Can I ask, you know how the child is?
He said AI. He said AI.
AI DuPont, but I believe it was a compound fracture
Oh.
because the leg was.
Very twisted.
I'm sorry
That's
to
a
hear
good way
that.
to put it. I'm trying to come up with it. Was twisted.
Very unnatural looking.
Oh, God. I'm glad it wasn't worse.
Hmm.
The only thing I had, we're talking about getting information out. Remember the brochure that we put out?
Yep,
Are we going to reinstate that?
I think we should.
If nothing else, get it ready to go January 1st, something. I know Mary had those wonderful brochures at the community center, but were they ever mailed out? Or were they just available at the community center?
I received one.
Did you get one in the mail? Yeah, I
I'm
did.
not sure. Everybody I know I received.
Yeah,
I've never received anything in the mail lately.
I don't think I received anything either.
I really would like to see us do that, whether it's once a year or twice a year, whatever the board thinks is best, but once a year for sure with everything we can pack in there, would be nice. My condolences go out to Miss Weber and for Roger too. We know they were both very important to the town of Elkton, and Roger, God bless him, was practically a fixture. Dan, last time I asked Michelle, she said that I think there was an MOA on washing the bridge finally. Where are we with that?
Yes, your bridge will be completed sometime in August.
Wonderful news, because the vegetation is taken. But thank you for all your hard work on that. I'm looking forward to getting that done. And Commissioner Rob, you need to quit standing on the corner so much. That one.
Oh, that one.
We need to do what?
You stand on the corner entirely too much.
I gotta make a living.
I have nothing there. I couldn't help it.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, this is the time of the meeting. We open up the floor for anyone that has anything to say for the good of the town of Elkton. So please come up and state your name and your address. And I know, I think we're gonna have to have you come all the way up here and we'll let you talk into the mic.
I can speak pretty loudly. I'm not afraid. Thank you, everybody, for having us today. My name is Barbara Weiser. I live at 410 North Street in Elkton. And I have 3 issues that I'd like to discuss tonight.
I can tell about those. It's all good.
Number first was certainly that car accident. I was standing on the grassy swatch right where the bridge ends with my dog, and I saw that accident, and it was the little boy. He pulled out in front of her. First of all, there is a stop sign there. And some of our neighbors said maybe that should be a 4-way stop. And I would suggest that maybe Stockton Street could be 1-way in. So you don't, because that's a very narrow street there. And since the community center has gone up, the traffic that way is triple, I'm sure, at least, right? And so I would think that since there's a lot of pedestrian, a lot of the students come down over the bridge and walk through there, excuse me, that maybe either 1-way or stop. If it's a 4-way stop, as we said before, the stop sign there isn't going to help an awful lot if there are cars parked there, even if it's not a handicap car. That car happens to be a larger van for obvious reasons, but even a regular car. And there was a stop sign. The little boy was 9. He didn't pay. His father yelled stop, but he didn't. I mean, his father got hit by the van as well, by the car as well. It was pretty rough. So I would suggest one of the two. I think a stop sign would do some good, but I'm not sure. I think maybe 1-way in, because they could go out a different way, right over by the Board of Education. And that might be something to try. I think maybe the people who live on Stockton maybe they're happy if it wasn't 2-way, because that's just a very narrow street to start with. The second thing did you want to add anything to that part, Amy?
That's all I've come to talk about. So
And your name?
My name is Amy Richardson.
Amy? And your address?
I'm at 402 North Street.
402.
So
Thank you.
I'm 1 house in from the intersection. I've lived there since 1998, so over 20 years. I've seen multiple accidents at that intersection. Several years ago, we asked them to come out and to do a poll, a traffic survey, and to see, because we felt like people were just speeding over the bridge and they're coming. And we get that with the police and the ambulances and the fire trucks, but other people too. And so we asked them to do a traffic survey, and essentially the outcome was not enough people were speeding fast enough to really make a difference. And we suggested speed bumps, and they said, well, we have the police, we have the ambulances, we can't do speed bumps. That made sense to us. Since then, March 18th, I had 3 vehicles, and we had a truck plow into the back of one. We parked right on the street, right there on North Street. Ran into my car, ran into my husband's van, ran into our neighbor's car, ran into my husband's other car. We lost all 3 vehicles all at once.
The man claimed he was going 25 miles an hour.
Related to the vicinity of that intersection and speed. I like Barb's idea of the 1-way on Stockton. I would like a pedestrian crossing. We have students that cross back and forth there. We have students that wait on the corner as a bus stop. So if we can't do the 4-way stop, or if that still doesn't really mitigate it, having the pedestrian crosswalks, having a yellow blinking light to indicate that there's an intersection there, anything that we can do to spare what happened to that boy, let alone our cars, again, 20 years, I've probably seen 7 or 8 accidents there at that intersection at different times. And it was bound to be a kid, and we can't do that again.
Yeah, don't want to see one like that.
And we'll address it.
How will we know? What's the next step
We have your address.
Yes.
We have your information now. And we're gonna move forward and get a traffic company to come in and take a look at this. And, we'll just keep you updated. Michelle, you'll know how to keep them updated. And if you would like to leave your email addresses, when we're done here, we're gonna wrap up after everyone's here done. We'll make sure that we keep you in the loop that way.
I will also add that the Mary Randall Center is right there, so we also have a population of people who are, again, pedestrians and walking back and forth. We have the health department there, they hold meetings there, we have that,
The funeral home there.
and the funeral home. And so the funeral trails that come out often get disrupted. Again, just bringing attention to that being an intersection and somehow getting people to slow down.
Understand?
And we have to work with state too.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
school board.
that's not our road. Did you know that?
No,
That's why we're bringing it to you,
Yeah, it's a
because
state
you
highway.
know,
We need to know
you know
that
where,
the
where
reason
we should go.
we can't go out there tomorrow and put up a stop sign or draw a line or anything like that. It's not our road. The state has to be involved in any changes, and they have to approve any changes, but I'm sure
We will
there's.
get them involved.
Or
Yeah.
someone from this board would be elected to go and put that forward.
Yeah.
We would really appreciate that.
We will move forward with meeting with the state highway about this. I can promise you that.
But in the meantime, we can also look at that Carter part, sir, because that is a deterrent.
It is.
So
It
that'll be
is
up to
not.
us to get that.
It is
And you
not.
had two more other
I do
items.
have two more things.
Thank you.
I love the community center. I love it that the youth have a place to go. However, when they first put it up, this has stopped somewhat, but it still happens. The students who come down North Street,
Mhm.
they just walk right through our yards.
Hmm.
They walk through the private property and they have knocked down our fences and climbed over them. And they do it coming back out. And I had mentioned, there was a group of about 3 young men and I said to them, you know, this is private property, you're not supposed to walk through here. And I think maybe somebody must have said something to the students who use that because that stopped. However, our fences are pretty messed up. I also understood when that was constructed that there was a fence in the plans. If I'm wrong, I wish someone would let me know. I don't know where do I look at the plans. The behind any building is a cool place for teenagers to hang out. When we were all teenagers at one time, people like to hang out and just be, you know, somewhere where not that they're doing anything bad. But I truly, and I've spoken to everyone, Amy's house is not part of that, but from the property where it begins all the way down the block, we all would like to have our fence put up, all of us. I have written a letter. I talked to Michelle, is there Michelle in your office? I talked to, what a wonderful person you are. It's so nice speaking with you, and so helpful.
Are you guys related?
No, but, so the thing is, I would like to find out who do I speak with
You're
about that?
speaking to the right people about
Good,
this.
good. It's for privacy, it's for safety, because if anything goes wrong in any of those backyards, you know who they're gonna blame. Those students that are hanging or walking through, they don't hang out. But you know they're gonna be the first people who, oh, somebody took an ornament off my car. We don't wanna hear, we don't want those students. They're not doing anything wrong. They were nice looking men going in there. They're gonna play a game, something, do, maybe be tutors. I don't know what they were doing in there. But I think that to protect,
We can handle that.
okay.
Number 3.
Number 3, another reason for the fence. The house next to me at 408 has a revolving door on it with drug dealers, and I am sick and tired of it. Sick and tired of it. I have talked to the task force actually today,
Okay.
which took me about 10 days to get someone to talk to me about it. Behind my garage are needles, little baggies, things like that going on. the neighbor who lives in the middle floor, she parks her car back there. Needles all over the ground, I mean, and she's got children, she's like, I can't stand this anymore. She's afraid to call the police.
I think that
I'm the right one to talk to about
She's
it.
afraid to call.
without exposing anyone, I think the best conversation you could have would be with the chief.
Right. Please, I lived in Edgewood, I know what a drug deal looks like.
Understand.
Yeah, you told me about that, but she's the person I suggested
I'll talk to you.
before
Thank you.
talking to her and do so, and
Thank
she
you.
think
So
you
those
have.
are my, otherwise, I've lived here for 20 years and I really like it, I'm not complaining about it.
Thank you. Sir, do you have anything to say?
Amy's.
Oh, very good. Well, listen, I'd like to make Amy and Barbara, thank you guys so much for bringing that. I'm going to send you over,
I'm gonna give you my email.
I'm going to give this to you right now. Oh, you got it? But I wanted to mention to you that I actually lived on North Street at 316 North Street in 1986 to 1995. And probably the only time that there was never any traffic, and it was before probably both your times, is when the bridge was closed. When the bridge was closed, and it was the most quietest street there ever was here. But I wanted to mention to you that that was not the first child that was struck
I know, John.
there. The Browley boy, and I was an eyewitness to that. It was on a Sunday morning. I still see it like it was yesterday. I was coming back from Northeast and I pulled in and I saw the older brother go across. I saw the daughter and I saw the dog come across and I saw the little Browley boy come across and I can't think of the man's name in the Cadillac, but I could see his eyes. He was looking at the dog. He didn't even see the child and his mirror struck the child and flipped him. And it was heartbreaking. I wanted to run and pick the child up and run him to the hospital. I'm glad I didn't. There was no cars, no traffic. And like the third car that came through was a nurse. We were able to get the ambulance here very quickly. I called 911 at that time and it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. Yeah, it was heartbreaking.
Not a third time.
We don't want it to happen a third time. Now, I will tell you that happened. There was no action on the street. It was just, so here you have no traffic and it happened. There's a reason why these things are happening. We do need to light it up in some way.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much and we will keep you in the loop on it.
Thank you for hearing us.
Thank you. Is there anyone on social media that has anything to say for the good of the town?
And there's one other concern, when you come out of the Board of Education, the Yellow House has a host of children, both houses. Those kids will walk in the road, those kids will throw stones at it, and they are very challenging. They just stand there and look down. And we need to correct that some kind of way because that's not good.
Okay.
On what street, sir?
Chief?
That's what, stop it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said something. Because
So I'm a little late to the game this year, but National Night Out is Tuesday, August 3rd from 5 to 8. And I have Acting Sergeant Amanda Vanek and Acting Sergeant Candace Piratano trying to put something together. We'd like to do some kind of celebration for the community in Meadow Park this year. So they've been working on that since I realized I had dropped the ball. And they're really trying to pick up and get people there. I think they've reached out to the health department to do some COVID vaccines there. I think Voice of Hope is going to be there. I believe Commissioner Gibbons has helped us secure a barber to give some free haircuts. So there's a lot going on with that, even though, like I said, I kind of dropped the ball on this, but I think it's still going to be a wonderful event for the community. So I just wanted to invite you guys and just let you know about that. The other thing is we've kind of talked about this before the meeting, but I would like to personally and publicly acknowledge that we did have retired K-9 Ramble pass yesterday, and we had a contingent of Elkton police officers, and we were supported by so many allied agencies where we escorted Officer Nussel and his family and K-9 Ramble to the London Vet Center for when he was put down. So he served with the police department from 2000 for 8 years, from 2010 until 2018. Yeah, he had a lot of arrests. He was the sheriff's department did. If you got any of you are on Facebook, the sheriff's department was there, and they're really good at social media. And so we shared their tribute to them. They did an amazing tribute, and were able to videotape some of it. And so it was just really nice to be a part of that and to honor him. But I just wanted to publicly say that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. So he's been retired since 2018, and we have 2 other canines that have already replaced him. Yes.
Very good. Hey, Lou, can you check out for the chain for a fence? Can you take a look over there tomorrow or the next day about a fence?
Certainly, if the board authorizes the expense, because it is a considerable expense.
Yeah, take a look, maybe
yeah.
take a look at it and report back to us.
All right.
Anyone on social media have anything for the good of the town of Elkton? Seeing none, hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.